G'day, mate. It's a podcast for Gugabe. I am Gugabe, and this is, I think it might be called the Sergio Spivak as the GOAT podcast now, but anyway, here's Technical Tim. How are we, Timmy?
I'm good. I think I'm just going to whatever the flavor of the week is. That's what I'm going to name the podcast. That's what I decided. And I think Sergey Spivak was kind of the GOAT that week. So I know he's the GOAT all the time, but it was more relevant that week. So that's what we're going to do.
I had to evict him from my shed because he hasn't been paying rent, so unfortunate. And the immigration, which is getting too annoying. But anyway, UFC 244 coming up. I won't bother recapping because I haven't done one of these in a while. But yeah.
Good card. You and I were just talking before the podcast started about how I kind of feel bad for you with that Australia card where you had to sit through that you went to. The Adesanya Whitaker undercard was so terrible. And if you just put like Dawodu Arce on that card and then took one of the shitty fights from Australia to here, it would have probably been better.
Yeah, pretty much. Like any of the bottom 6 fights in this card, or even just take one of the fights off this card and leave one of the Australian fights on the regionals.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like Hex FC missed the main event because of the UFC cruelly taking it for their early prelims.
Yeah.
But look, that was still a good atmosphere. It was still a fun card, like in this Melbourne. But it's just like, why is this card so? It's good to have a card that's stacked, but it's also like Dawodu versus Arce is not going to be pushing the needle financially for anybody. So why is it kind of on here in that position?
I think it just depends what kind of fan you are. Like if you're just like a hardcore, I think you want high quality MMA, or maybe like some of the less hardcore fans in Australia don't even know the difference between like a Dawodu Arce fight and, something else that's kind of just like meme. But at least you had a good main event and a fun co-main event for the most part. Like that kind of turned out to be fun.
Yeah, true. Even the whole fight, the whole card was pretty good. But anyway, speaking about Dawodu versus Arce, I think they're both on a similar sort of page with this. Dawodu's slow starter, so he's a rescuer for Arce, but I just feel like he's a caliber of striker above Arce. Like Arce's kind of in like that B plus everywhere spot. I think he'll probably consistently have issues with specialists, particularly in striking, because he's not really a come forward takedown artist. So I feel like once Dawodu gets comfortable, we should just run away with it. But there's a good chance he drops the first round, and you never. I don't see this being a complete annihilation by Dawodu, so it could definitely be a close decision.
Yeah, pretty much dead accurate. I think they're both good. Like I think Arce's good too, and I think Dawodu's probably a little better, but both of their striking ratios are elite. And I think I pointed it out maybe last time we talked about Dawodu. I think and it also trended in his last fight as well. He throws like 1/3 to 1/4 of the strikes in round 1 compared to round 2 and 3. So and he throws like actually more in round 3. So I think that's very good information to know for live betting. And that's why I could see him just kind of like defaulting the first round, which is kind of scary in an exclusive striking fight. So that's why I wouldn't play him pre, but I do think he's going to win, but I feel like you could maybe get value live because he might honestly drop round 1. But yeah.
I don't actually mind the RTD here, just looking at the current price. I feel Arce is a bit chinny. Like he's tough, but he's not he's a bit fragile, and I think the same with Dawodu. Obviously, there's kind of overleaning on the Henry fight there. I'll probably price Dawodu about minus 175, so I think minus 130-ish where he currently is I think Dawodu's a bit more favoured, but I'm not running a run out to play it. Really, honestly, the spot here is going to be trying to get, if Arce wins round 1 and Dawodu seems to be doing okay, if you can get Dawodu at like plus 130, plus 140 after round 1, that'd probably be my preferred entry.
Yeah, for sure. I think live betting is the way to go here. Because Dawodu, I mean, there's a track record of him starting slow, so why would you play him a pre-fight where you might drop round 1, Rencounter and good. This is I initially was really interested in playing good, and then I kind of, because I mean, this is as binary as it comes, like if this stays Good's going to dominate it, and Rencounter could wrestle fuck him because Rencounter has decent wrestling. Like it's actually pretty good. But I watched Good on the Ultimate Fighter against I think it's Austin.
Yes.
Stevens. Yeah, was it Austin Stevens? And he like that was not something. It was concerning. I tend to think that he is going to win Good. Like I think he'll stuff most of the takedowns, but that was too concerning for me to play with confidence here.
Yeah, I'd about agree with that. Very binary. Live betting is also probably a good spot here because you'll be able to tell pretty quickly what's going to happen.
For sure. That's really it. Like, I mean, what?
Like honestly, even 40 seconds in, I could see a thing where like live odds haven't really moved yet. The Good stuff's a decent takedown. You're just like, all right.
Yeah.
I feel like it's more likely the Good can hang in Chance's area than vice versa. Because like Chance's striking he showed against Muhammad was just woeful.
Yeah. The thing though is if Good's hanging in the area, he'll still be losing because he'll probably just be playing guard. But like I know what you mean. Like I guess Good can overcome like 3 minutes of being laid on more than Rencounter can. You know, because he'll actually do damage on the feet. Good will just be laid on. You know.
Yeah.
So I see what you're saying, but my lean is Good, but I'm just I don't like the idea of playing like minus 135 here either. You know.
Yeah, that's fair. It's minus 125 at the moment, so it's trending in a decent direction. Like if Good gets out to pluses, I'd consider it, but not yet.
Yeah, and then the thing I saw about Chance, because I went into this one very deep because I thought there was going to be an opportunity here, but then I just didn't come out feeling strongly about it. Is even against Bilal Muhammad, like if you just pull out of a few takedowns, like just a few single legs, which I've seen Lyman do. He even like just got up on Maia and just got standing back taked, you know?
Yeah.
That Chance won't really force all that many takedowns if you like he went 0 for 3 against Bilal Muhammad. So that's really just defending one takedown per round, and then he just got beat the fuck up and just accepted it. So it's not like he's going to be a Carla Esparza, or if his game plan's failing, that he'll keep going for them anyway. So that's kind of why I think Good's going to win. But I still did not like that Austin Stevens fight. Like, if I wouldn't have seen that fight, I probably would have played Good, and then I saw it and got scared off. So yeah.
Yeah, I'd pretty much agree with that. Just I feel like Good's probably got a bit of upside. The price is probably closer to minus 140-ish, but again, it's just not enough of a gap to justify it for me. Even the RTVG today is not particularly interesting so far. I think there's a decent chance of Good knocks him out, but Chance seems fairly. I remember Muhammad kind of could have finished him, but Muhammad just did this Muhammad thing where he doesn't really bother.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty on it.
Yeah.
Well, it's hopefully get that sort of 40-second spot where either Good stop the first single leg, or that could be enough to give you a good before the odds really move.
And the line probably won't even move at that point if he hasn't thrown strikes yet. So.
Yeah. Well, so that could be very addictive. Maia Chookagian. I honestly barely done tape for this. I kind of feel like Maia's underrated a bit here, but Chookagian just has this magical ability to take rounds with stupid volume.
I mean, this is going to be a split decision, right? Like,
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they both throw pretty similar volume of strikes. Like, I know you have to look at the styles, but I just feel like in a women's MMA fight, I don't know. I just feel like it's going to be pretty close. They both actually got outstruck on the numbers by Alexis Davis. And yeah, like, I don't know. I just feel like this is going to probably be a split decision. They both never landed a takedown in their UFC career. So it's just going to be a striking fight that will probably come down to who lands a little harder at the end of the round or something, you know?
Like I kind of feel like I feel Maia's got decent powerful woman, but again, it just seems like it'll be a bit of a mess.
Yeah. Like I don't know. If they fight 100 rounds, would you be surprised if it was like 55-45 for some girl we don't really know yet type of thing. Like that's kind of just the way I see this. Yeah.
Like pretty much, I feel like Maia, like I wouldn't mind like half a year on Maia as is, but yeah, it's just again, if I can get plus 130 for a coin flip, I think that's always going to be a decent play. But yeah, there's no strong opinion.
Some dude who I talk fights with who's actually quite good. He pointed out that Maia gets hit a lot less, but I think he didn't contextualize the fight metrics where one of her 3 fights was against Roxanne, where Roxanne landed 20 strikes. And then Maia actually was pretty much on par with Chookagian in her other 2 fights where she got landed on like to similar levels to Chookagian. So I think I don't think you can look at the Roxanne fight and like that messed with her stats is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, agree with that. Yeah, so on to Arlovski versus Rozenstruik, where the first fight I have a particularly strong opinion on.
Yeah.
Look, honestly, I've been doing actual tape on Rozenstruik's kickboxing. It's hard to get tape on Rozenstruik's kickboxing because most of his fights are sure enemies, nothing fights. And the only time he ever appeared on tape was when he was fighting somebody from outside Suriname, where he tended to lose decisions because he doesn't throw strikes.
Yeah.
The way I see it, Arlovski should be about minus 150 on the feet and about minus 500 on the ground. Like it's hard to rely on Arlovski to actually go for takedowns, but if by some miracle it ends up down there, and I do honestly think Rozenstruik was a worse grappler than Tavares.
Yeah,
like Tavares' first layer takedown defense is better. Like Tavares got up against Ivanov a few times, even against Spivak he got up a few times.
Yeah,
where like Rozenstruik just when he took him down with shitty single leg, past the side control, and Rozenstruik only escaped from getting mounted because he just kind of awkwardly shoved them off.
Yeah, I haven't taped, but I mean I obviously know both guys, but I haven't taped to kind of like see how the matchup will go. And one thing is, this is like one of the only fights I haven't seen in the last like few months. I just happened to not see Rothwell Arlovski, and Arlovski landed a ridiculous amount of strikes just according to fight metrics. I mean, I need to watch it to kind of see. But was that just like what kind of strikes was he landing? Was it just like in the clinch, at distance, both? What was going on?
Pretty much everything, but Rothwell looked fucking dire. Like Rothwell, even Rothwell from like compared to the Ivanov fight, compared to the Rothwell we saw there, looked like he put on about 50 pounds and he just looked awful.
Yeah.
I just feel like Rozenstruik's a bit KO or bust, and I don't really trust his power enough to essentially say, but yeah, he's going to get the KO at a minus 150 clip. Yeah. I'd favour Arlovski to about minus 150, minus 200-ish.
Yeah, I mean, Andre has a good striking ratio, and Albini, like, I mean, we have small sample on Rozenstruik, right? Yeah. So it kind of makes it a little hard, but he seems to be low volume in the fights I've seen, and Andre's really not, especially lately. Like Andre's been picking up his volume over the last few fights, you know. So I see what you're saying. I still need to tape it, but no way would I play Rozenstruik. Like I already know that's not going to be a play.
Like big thing I noticed with Rozenstruik in his kickboxing matches where he really struggled in the clinch and he really struggled with volume from like guys who weren't bad enough to just get clipped by massive hooks.
Yeah.
Like he had a KO win over Guillaume Dombi or something. He's like a number 3 ranked kickboxer right now, but he was getting his ass kicked and hit a massive hook.
Yeah.
It was.
I remember not liking the way Andre looked versus Shamil, but I thought he looked good. I remember I thought he looked good against Sakai, and I thought he looked. I mean, he outstruck Harris. I think Harris landed some bigger shots overall, but he outstruck Harris, like he outstruck Sakai. So yeah, I just need to look into it more. But I agree with you conceptually.
Yeah, it's just I just don't think we've seen enough Rozenstruik to make him a favourite here. And like if Arlovski actually comes out and goes for takedowns, God. Like, I'll probably take a swing on Arlovski's submission. I know he hasn't got a submission in ages, but Rozenstruik's grappling looks so poor against Albini.
Yeah, it is scary because Andre only lands 0.53 takedowns per 15, so it's like the wrestling willingness might be there, but at least like on the bright side, in his last 6 fights, he has wrestled more. So I think it's possible, but I wouldn't rely on it either, you know?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I feel like Arlovski should be favoured on fate just because he's a bit busier.
Yeah.
And Rozenstruik, even Rozenstruik's defense just seemed very lacking. He just sort of covered up in kickboxing. Albany was landing on him. I think Albany was like, didn't Albany outland him by a punch or two? And yeah, these weren't just the ground and pound strikes. It's like, yeah, Albany was just landing on him.
Oh, no, yeah. I mean, even on the feet, it was pretty competitive for a while. And then Rozenstruik just kind of landed a big shot. That's all that really happened. Then the Crowder fight, I don't care. It was a 9-second
Yeah.
KO. Yeah, it's like that can just
It was really a
happen.
3-second KO.
Yeah.
Like, Crowder just went down and died.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, Crowder could have been like actually like minus 300 there. We will just never know.
Yeah, and then Rozenstruik could have been minus 900. We would have no idea, you know.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like we don't. It's almost like actually I'm not going to bring that up so people don't yell about Askren. I was going to bring up Askren Masvidal, but it is what it is.
Yeah, great. Like, I'm expert Masvidal, and like, yeah, that outcome is just whatever.
Yeah, it's like Askren could have easily got on top of him, and just like Maia did. Like Maia held him down, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think people get kind of where we're coming from here. I need to look into it more though. But Tavares Shabazian, this is a really tough fight to even know where the odds should be, in my opinion, because I've been pretty vocal on Shabazian that I've thought his wrestling was elite from the get-go, but I'm very skeptical of his striking. Like I have a feeling he just might not even know how to strike well, other than just kind of blitzing people he has an athletic advantage on early. And it's kind of showed because even against Stewart, he looked like he wanted no part of that. I mean, I know Stewart is a kind of a monster on the feet, but even when like Duran Wynn got outstruck by Stewart badly, but at least he would like stand up to him occasionally, especially in the third round, where Shabazian just looked really outmatched there. But at the same time, Shabazian's wrestling's elite, but I'm not sold. It's kind of weird because he might just get destroyed on the feet if he can't keep Tavares down. But then, like, I don't know. What if he's just all of a sudden he pulls a who was the girl who just beat Mackenzie Dern?
Rebus.
Yeah. It's like, what if he just pulls a Rebus? You know? So I have no idea how to cap this fight. I was expecting.
Also,
oh yeah, go on.
Tavares has been fairly hard to take down. Like, yeah, he's got 77% takedown defense, but 7 of those were Yo Romero.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and he out-wrestled Elias Like, Elias is a decent wrestler.
Yeah. Whenever I watched him and Elias Theodoro, I kind of thought I became even more uncertain because I was like, I didn't like dislike anything Tavares did, but I just couldn't tell if it was good enough because I do think Shabazian's a very good wrestler. I mean, he had more success with it than Duran Wynn, you know, against Stewart.
Yeah. So, I think a lot of that was Duran Wynn just not really going for the back rides the same way. Like, it's folk style verse.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Because Shabazian did a good job. He kind of just went for that those back takes, and then he would just kind of keep landing spiral ride mat returns. But Stewart's a fucking monster to keep doing that too. But he did it for 2 rounds and took 2 rounds, so that's still like a success, you know.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Jocko Tavares. I remember Tavares kind of shut down Jocko. How many takedowns did Jocko go for? Try and remember. No, only 3.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah.
I could see a repeat of that dynamic. I'm actually surprised by the alignment. Like, so I agree. I was expecting Shabazian to be like minus 200.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I was expecting too. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be. The way I see it, I wouldn't be surprised if Shabazian out wrestles him, takes a couple rounds, wins a decision. I wouldn't be surprised if Tavares just destroyed him on the feet. And then I wouldn't be surprised if Shabazian just kind of, was a little better on the feet than maybe I'm giving him credit for. But so it just makes it hard, you know. I don't see how you could be all that confident here.
Yeah, agreed. I picked up some Tavares plus 114 because I saw Lime was coming in, so I was like, yeah, whatever. I'll take some free money.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is usually my philosophy for the sort of fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just surprised the market's reacted as it has. Like,
I thought Chookagian was gonna honestly be anywhere from -2 to 300. That's what I thought.
GTD's a little tempting at -200, but then again, like Chookagian could get knocked out.
Yeah, I don't think Chookagian will finish Tavares personally. Like, I think it could happen, but I think it would be just a little like, this is MMA type of finish instead of like a process finish.
Yeah, pretty much.
Burgos Amirikhani, I think the line might be getting a little too wide here, but I do think Burgos should be the favorite, because Amirikhani doesn't throw strikes. But this is also a little binary as well. But Burgos has a really good takedown defense historically, like according to the numbers. But I do think Amirikhani is a really good wrestler. But at the same time, it's kind of like he doesn't throw strikes either, you know?
And he's kind of an idiot too. Like, we both played him pretty heavy against Fishgold, and he made that harder than it needed to be.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I just feel like Amirikhani, by virtue of being an idiot, like the best sort of scenario for him is usually like an ugly split decision.
Yeah.
Just because he just doesn't really work to his own strengths.
At least you know Burgos will do shit, you know?
Yeah. Burgos actually seems to have game plans. Well, Amirikhani just kind of rocks up.
Yeah, like Burgos will go forward and throw a shitload of strikes. He'll take some in the process, but overall, I think he'll just have more striking firepower here.
I actually like this idea a bit. I think that I don't entirely trust Amirikhani's chin. And Burgos also has been dropped a few times.
Yeah.
And Amirikhani just seems like he'll just do dumb stuff which conducive to a finish.
Well, and I think even just like a sub is possible for either guy, because I think Amirikhani has some really good front headlock chokes. Like, and Burgos can like meme a submission here and there. Doesn't go to decision, plus 135.
It's plus 170, so it's come in. So it's probably a better one, plus 170. But have a look at see how it closes.
Yeah.
Speaking of meme shit, Anderson vs. Walker.
Oh, God. I mean, the values on Anderson, like, by a mile. Like,
Yeah.
But I'm so scared. Because I might. I mean, I think everyone knows what this is. It's going to be Walker either knocks his head off into the 13th row in the first like round, or Anderson's going to absolutely school him with high volume wrestling and just kind of like being better. But
yeah,
like, I mean, is there anything else to analyze? Like, but it's just how likely is the finish? That's the way to analyze this fight, and I don't really know.
And like, Anderson does have form for just being meme finished out of nowhere.
No, and like we can talk shit about Walker, you know, but he hits really, really fucking hard. So,
like, honestly, like,
go on.
Corey Anderson, apart from the Jimmy Manuwa fight, has like essentially won every minute of every one of his fights.
Yeah, dude.
Even Shogun was like these random knockdowns.
He was dominating OSP. Like, he pretty much is. Yeah, he pretty much kind of dominates everyone. I mean, this is a minutes versus moments type of fight, and it's just like, I don't know. How often does Walker kill him? You know, it's just hard to know. Fuck, this fight's frustrating because I feel like if Anderson just had any type of chin, I would max bet him here, you know?
Anderson took shots against Latifi. Anderson's also in that sort of thing where I don't think he's necessarily got a bad chin. He just gets hit very hard.
Yeah, which isn't good either, you know?
Yeah, I know it isn't. But like, it's not like he's dying off jabs. It's Glover and Latifi both landed some shots on him. Like, I remember I had a play on Latifi KO, and I was surprised that Anderson actually took shots.
Yeah,
Latifi hits.
I do think Walker hits and throws more than, like, hits a little harder and throws more than Latifi, you know? But I don't know. This is one I'm gonna be thinking about all week. Like, but it's just Anderson. It's really hard because Walker did not look good in his Contender Series fight, and that's the only fight that played out, you know?
Yeah.
And Corey Anderson's dominated some really good fighters like Glover, Jan. So it's just it's frustrating, you know?
Yeah. It's like I feel like Answer's gonna be value, but like a Walker win's gonna be like a 30-second knockout and people just screaming about how it was the only possible outcome.
Can Anderson finish Walker?
I
Because
believe so. Like he put on a ton of volume. Glover was badly fucked up. Like, and you know, a bunch of us was think. I was like kind of thinking after the Hansen side, Glover might just be done. But
yeah.
Glover's clearly still in it.
Yeah, I mean Glover looks kind of like he looks, you know?
Yeah, like I think that's Anderson's probably like the hardest some ways really wrecked Glover apart from Dante John Jones. Like Phil Davis out wrestled Glover, but Glover just got annihilated by Anderson.
Yeah, it's just like Anderson absorbs 2.2 strikes per minute and lands like 4.5, and his takedown average is 5, and he passes like 4 to 5 times per fight. It's so hard to not play him here, you know? Like it's just like he dominates fights. Oh, fuck. Like fuck you, Johnny Walker, for making this so hard.
Yeah, it's like there's a few of them. There's a few of those this week. Arlovski, Rozenstruik, Anderson, Walker. I just feel like they're just ones. There's a value side, but there's just a win for the non-value side will be a crazy KO, and people act like it was 100% outcome.
Yeah, and like I know Walker KO'd Serkinov, but it's not like Roundtree and Ledet are all like I mean, and it happens so quick anyway, so it's hard to read into it. But it's not like those guys are great. And yeah, like that Henrique Silva guy on the Ultimate Fighter, that was actually like a pretty competitive fight. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, well, yeah, let's just move on. Fuck this fight.
It's hard to grapple with that one intellectually. Kevin Lee, annihilate Gregor Gillespie. Ben Askren proved once and for all that college wrestling is a myth. You bought the K5.
I mean, yeah, you can say that if you want, but it's not true. But this is, I mean, this is another live betting spot, right? like Gillespie's got the better cardio, but I'm a Gillespie nut hugger. I always have been, but
Yep.
this is a lot different, you know, this type of fight, because I don't think he can just completely dominate Lee with the wrestling right away. I haven't taped to see kind of like to look into the striking as much. I don't think Lee's a very good striker though. Gillespie round 3, like a finish could happen, because I do his offensive subs are good, and I did not like the way how easy the arm triangle came for RDA against Lee.
Gillespie Gonzalez.
Yeah,
Crazy
like that
war.
was concerning. Yeah, for sure. That's concerning if you're betting Gillespie. Like and these wrestling rides that all these guys, they don't know how to defend against Gillespie. Lee's seen this shit before, you know. I mean, he's wrestled his whole life, so just like these like tight waists and these spiral rides and these mat returns that Gillespie does and just confuses and dominates everybody with. Lee has seen that before. You know, he'll just fight hands and do the right things and probably defend early. So, Gillespie's got the better tank though, but he's also a lot smaller too.
It's 15 minutes, and Lee could just kind of bully him for enough time to get up 2 rounds.
Exactly.
Or could just beat him on the feet. Just like I think Lee's quicker, bigger, stronger, more powerful.
Yeah. Like I prefer betting live here personally, but I wouldn't touch Gillespie at this line, and I love Gillespie. It's a different type of style. I do need to tape though, because maybe I can see something like in the tape that I'm not thinking of now. But yeah, that's kind of the way I feel.
Yeah, pretty much my agreement. Like Gillespie after round 1, if he's like plus 150 or something, if he loses a clear round 1 to Lee, makes sense. But So Lee is just athletically. Lee is ridiculously athletic. Like, even RDA was having problems with Lee in the
Yeah,
grappling.
like Lee still won round 1 against RDA. Like, still, I mean, I favor Lee to win round 1. I favor Gillespie to win round 3. I think it's going to be about round 2. You know.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the finishing ups, a lot of these sort of dynamic, explosive upsides on Lee's side. And I'm not playing it. I just feel like Lee. I feel like he's definitely live here.
Yeah,
and I also feel like the people do overrate winning streaks, and like Gillespie is an undefeated fighter and all that sort of stuff. I just feel like it's generally something worth fighting.
for sure.
RTD at plus 125 is not bad. Is it? I don't know.
Yeah, I think the no scorecards. I personally would like Gillespie more because I don't think Lee's going to finish Gillespie. I really don't. I don't think he'll get like all that many dominant positions on the mat because I think Gillespie will just kind of like fight hands and fight those back takes. But I mean, I guess Lee could get. He's pretty powerful back taker early, but
Well, you could just drop a could club sub or whatever. Yeah, Lee does hit hard.
Yeah, he does. Ivanov Lewis. I mean, is Lewis going to win by knockout? Because if he doesn't, he's going to lose.
I think Ivanov stops Lewis pretty easily. Like Lewis is just kind of looking worse and worse and worse, in my opinion. Ivanov can take a massive shot.
Yeah.
Lewis, and like even it's not like Lewis, even as like a one punch knockout threat, he's been kind of looking plus 500 in a lot of his fights. And Ivanov will come forward and will put pressure on the man.
Yeah. Like
RTD at mine.
Ivanov's busier. His striking, like, I mean, Lewis doesn't throw strikes. It's going to be a power shot versus a round winner here. And I know Ivanov got landed on a shitload by JDS, but that was just kind of a tough style for him. So his striking ratio doesn't look as good. But I mean, he can play hit you more type of game, you know?
I'm pretty sure Ivanov just comes forward, puts volume on Lewis, hits him in the body once or twice, and doesn't go away. Lewis will just fall over and die. That's kind of my read.
Pretty much.
And I'm pretty sure Ivanov's going to come forwards. Honestly, the RTD at minus 160 even is probably still playable. Yeah. I just don't see the Lewis being able to survive.
Yeah. And I mean, that's Lewis's win condition to win too, as well, you know?
I just feel like Ivanov will consistently come forward because like Ivanov has Ivanov taken a backward step in the UFC?
So I do want to warn you about that. He will take a back step if you watch him in what was the organization? Was he in World Series of Fighting before this?
Yeah, WSOF before the rebrand.
He will do that because I actually thought a big thing because I didn't know that and I played him versus Tuivasa and I thought he's a southpaw, right? Yeah. I remember his straight left going backwards was something I thought was going to land, and I think it kind of did in some exchanges. But he will go a little backwards, but he's competent fighting backwards too. You know, like I think he's just a better fighter here personally. But
yeah, like I'd probably take him up to minus 200 personally. I could definitely get play for about 2.5 units. Not going crazy because like Lewis does have an obvious clear win condition.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he could knock his head off for sure, but I do think Lewis is declining though. Like he has a ridiculous knockout rate, but I do think he has been looking worse, definitely.
Yeah, agreed. And like honestly, Lewis's whole career was just kind of a statistical anomaly, in my opinion. It's just as one of these occasionally heavyweight shit will happen. It's like because like Lewis's run, how many fights? Because was he essentially TKO'd multiple times and. Like,
a lot.
Brown fucked him. Volkov fucked him. Tibura was a mess. I put a very large bet on Mark Hunt against him a few years ago. I remember that. I was like, Mark Hunt has actual striking defense.
Yeah.
Like honestly, very similar dynamic to Mark Hunt fight to me in this opinion. Like I think Volkov's got a good enough chin. He's not just gonna get deaded instantly.
Yeah. Pretty much.
What's next? We've got Thompson versus Luque. Kind of the fight between Thompson's age and like I think Thompson's value at minus 125 at the moment because I feel like Luque's going to have serious problems tracking him down.
Yeah.
But he's also 36.
Yeah, I think, but yeah, I still thought he looked like he looked very similar in the Pettis fight than he did in the Masvidal fight, and I think the main thing I saw is like as far as the numbers, Thompson's way better defensively, and I think just like if you just watch the fights, you can tell too. Um, and the thing about Thompson is sometimes he can just be a flake and not show up and not throw strikes. But that was against Till and Woodley, who also don't show up and don't throw strikes and like to counter you. And
Yeah.
Thompson's really good when you come forward at him and Luque's come forward. That's when he opens up. Like Pettis kind of walked him down a lot at times. And so did Masvidal was coming forward too. And Masvidal got boxed the fuck up in that fight. Like he got pretty much dominated. And that's when Thompson tends to open up is whenever you come forward on him. So I don't think Thompson's going to flake out here because I think someone's going to be coming forward and trying to hit him, you know? And so I think he's going to win, but I don't like his chin all that much to be real. But I don't even know if Luque will land all that often either.
Yeah, pretty much. Thompson's traditionally been traditionally been pretty durable. Luque, honestly, I felt he was lucky to get that Perry fight, and Luque's just kind of been letting pretty much everybody into bouts.
Yeah, he's super hittable too. I mean, if like he's gonna be there to get hit, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of his just overall striking data was because he landed like 100 strikes versus Barberena, but he also got landed on 170 times there, you know. So it's just, I don't know. It is what it is. I think Wonderboy should win, but Luque could hurt him pretty much. I think that's kind of it.
I'm still shocked that Barberena was up like 2-0 on multiple judges' scorecards in that fight.
He was up in the fight?
Yeah, Barberena would have won if it went to decision.
No way. I thought Luque was.
Yeah, I slammed Luque live, I think, like at evens after round 2, and like I actually looked up his scorecards afterwards, and Barberena was pretty clearly in the lead.
I can't remember exactly, but I remember thinking Luque was up.
It was kind of a mess.
Yeah,
it was a crazy war.
for sure.
Was it this year? Fuck, I thought it was longer ago. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, it was this
Yeah,
year.
it was oh, sorry, Luque vs Barberena was tied going into the final round. One judge had it 2018 for Barberena.
Yeah.
Oh, alright, so he was fine.
And then Till and Gastelum. Yeah, it's just I think Till can compete here. I think he might be getting written off. I do favor Gastelum. He throws more strikes, and I think he's just a little better. But Till is still kind of a monster in round 1, you know. So like he, I don't know, like he took round 1 versus Masvidal. He takes round 1 generally versus everybody. So like in a 3-round fight, that makes shit weird, you know.
Yeah. Till was very low volume, and I just feel like he leaned so hard on his like he just leaned so hard on his physical advantages at welterweight. He was always kind of really pushing the size advantage. But yeah, it's like not like Kelvin Gastelum's like a gigantic middleweight. Yeah, he should be a welterweight.
Yeah, I hate.
Gastelum like a meaningfully bigger person than like Bogan Velikkovic.
Yeah, I don't know. Like Till's a bigger man, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like
Um,
Till was like mid-sized middleweight, whilst Gastelum was probably shouldn't really be a middleweight. Like if this was Till versus like Wyburn or something, I'd be slamming because I feel like Till's game which wouldn't work as much. But and also the issue of Gastelum, like Gastelum showed a bunch of improvements against Israel, but also got the shit beaten out of him. That's the first time we've ever seen Gastelum really meaningfully hurt. So who knows how that goes?
yeah, this is just a tough fight. Like I just feel like striking fights are high variance sometimes, you know, especially when
Yeah.
you have 2 guys who can hit hard like this. So I just could see I could see either guy winning, and I hate low volume fighters like Till, but he does have pop, and Gastelum's had enough like ups and downs in his recent performances that I don't really like. He showed up versus Israel and he looked fantastic. I was really impressed, but he didn't look very good against Jacare in 2018, and even versus Weidman on the feet at times. I know he landed hard on Weidman once, but Weidman also boxed him up plenty, in that fight. So I don't like he's hittable, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And until can land that counter straight left. So I just kind of think the I just kind of think meh, like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like,
Feeling
yeah,
fair. Like, yeah, I was when I first heard this fight was announced, I was kind of leaning Gastelum, but I've rewatched the Israel fight. Just a bit iffy as a whole. Till just I'm not really a fan of Till because Till top flight only really has one real top flight win in my opinion, and that's against Cerrone,
Cerrone.
and he kind of just exploited Cerrone's weak spot.
Yeah, and he's way bigger than Cerrone too, So it's
Yeah,
just like he just bullied him. Like
yeah,
he looked good in round one versus Masvidal, and then Masvidal figured it out.
yeah.
It just yeah, I just kind of think I personally think Till might be the value side at plus 170 to 180, but it's still tough,
Yeah, not strong enough to play it really. That's kind of my same lane.
because he's still low volume. Um, Masvidal Diaz, um, I think this is going to be a close fight. Um, like
Yeah,
they both have good volume numbers. I think
I think Masvidal could completely whoop him, but
for
it's
sure.
hard to trust Masvidal not to fall back into old Masvidal patterns, randomly
Yeah,
dropping rounds and such. I'm
yeah.
hoping for a decent price on Masvidal KO, just because I felt like Pettis kind of rattled Diaz a bit more than I expected with just punches.
And Connor's hurt him in every fight too. And
Yeah,
Masvidal hits. He's similar to Connor, where he's kind of like a precision guy.
yeah.
But
I'm
yeah,
like I'm, but Diaz. I think Masvidal is fully capable of following whichever Diaz beating game plan you want to follow. It's like Connor, where Connor, like I think Masvidal's fully capable of just wrestle fucking him if he really wanted to.
he lands 1.73 like takedowns per 15, so I could see him getting some takedowns, but I generally think this will probably play out in the feet.
Yeah,
Um,
just because of machismo. But I'm just saying that if Masvidal just decided to follow the Ben Henderson game plan, I think he's perfectly capable of doing it.
yeah, I mean, I could see it. Um, Like,
Um,
Masvidal has more tools on the feet, but the numbers are still, like, pretty close? And, like, I do think Masvidal has, like, the game plans where Diaz is just gonna do what Diaz does, where Masvidal
yeah,
can change it up, so I like that, but sometimes you can fall into the trap of, like, hoping someone follows a game plan, and then they just don't? Um, so I don't know, like, uh I just think this is gonna be pretty close personally, but I wouldn't be surprised if he knocked his head off. Um,
I
like
definitely think the
Diaz
upside
is
is on
good,
Masvidal.
What's up?
I definitely think the upside is on Masvidal because I feel like there is like a bunch of Masvidal. Like I feel like Diaz has to kind of win a close decision.
Yeah.
And let's see how else he wins this fight. Well, I feel like Masvidal, any like real like upside and either dominant decision or finish, I think is massively on Masvidal's side. So it wouldn't bother me down to minus 200, but like I'm not going to play at this price because I just feel like I could be easily frustrated by Masvidal somehow just faltering in volume or not getting enough good moments in.
Yeah, like, I think that's a good point where, like, there's probably more finishing upside for Masvidal. Masvidal's historically durable too. Um They're both
Yeah,
tough. Um, I think I'm fine with Masvidal being the favorite, but I'm just saying, like, I don't think I would put him in that minus 170 range either, because I think the crowd's going to be really fucking wild here too. Like, just I don't know. Like, I think it's going
let's
to
all
be a fun, wild fight.
let's all take a moment to pour one out for the Leon Edwards at dog odds. We almost got against Masvidal.
Yeah,
Like
he
the Diaz saga, I was like, please give me Leon Edwards. Please give me Leon Edwards.
I think they're making Leon Woodley, which is awesome.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He, I mean, those odds are going to be close, right?
Hopefully, like yeah, I could see Edwards. I think Edwards like probably minus 150 would be the worst case for us. But yeah, and Edwards is such a good student of tape. I just can't see how Woodley doesn't get destroyed.
Yeah, it's I've ridden Leon for a like, and so he's just been like winning me a shitload of money for a long time
Yeah,
now. But there's people who don't always like his volume, but he's totally capable of throwing volume. It's just sometimes he fights smart, you know. Like he just sometimes he'll wrestle fuck you, and he doesn't like he'll just write out the position, you know. Um, and he doesn't get hit either, you know. So I don't know. I think he'll just kind of dominate Woodley personally, but yeah, like I'll
yeah.
have to kind of think about it when it comes, but it I think that's kind of it. And then we have the Zabit card coming up too. Is that a 3-rounder, Zabit and Cater?
What? Yes, it is. Actually, no, yeah, because it's main event now, but it's still 3-rounder.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. Like yeah, I guess we'll do a video on or podcast on that coming up. But anything else you want to talk about? Like I think the card, it's just I don't know, there's some plays I'm kind of interested in, and I'm kind of still figuring it out what I'm gonna do. But I think there's like plenty of stayaways too. But yeah.
Yeah, like it's decent card. There's like 4 or 5 money lines I like. I'm
Yeah.
gonna play. There's no
Yeah.
max bets or anything out there because I feel like pretty much all there's like most of my players have a decent chance of just ending by random knockout.
Yeah. It's always
Like I'm
my philosophy is always the round winner though over the finish.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I'm an Ivanov, Walker, Arlovski. They can all just randomly get
You mean
killed.
Anderson, not Walker, right?
Oh, sorry, yeah, Anderson. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just yeah, it's for deal. It's for deal, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, should be good. Should be a good fight card. Again, I'm protesting UFC booking decisions,
Yeah.
and yeah, hopefully Masvidal wins because I'm just screw with Diaz.
Yeah, I don't. I might get we might get some dislikes for this one, but I don't know. Like the Diaz, I've never really like I like them as far as like their fighting style. They're entertaining, but even just like the drug test shit this week, it's like what I don't get how he'll just blame like others on it.
Yeah,
And then he also like they always claim they like win fights where I thought Connor was a clear 3-2 Connor. Just
yeah,
like and he'll claim he got robbed. And then people like will agree with it. Where I feel like if other people make excuses, they get told to like fuck off, you know? So
yeah.
I don't know. But I still like the Diaz. Like they're very entertaining. But sometimes like their attitude, I think they're just kind of like anti-UFC, so people enjoy them though, you know? But it is kind
Yeah.
of is what it is.
It's like yeah, people. This is the BMF man. This is the BMF belt. These guys aren't in the top 20 baddest motherfuckers. We all know Dan Kelly is the baddest motherfucker in UFC history.
Dan Kelly for sure.
Like you imagine coming in as he was the underdog in every single. He was 57 years old. He was on his fifth set of hips,
Yeah.
and he beat Rashad Evans.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think Damian Maia is also one of the baddest motherfuckers. I know he does it in a different he
Uh,
I fucking love Damian Maia. Like he's the fucking
even
man.
even Darren Elkins and shit like that. I consider Darren Elkins a better motherfucker than Ivan Masvidal.
It is funny that whenever they
Or
like
Carl
bring up
Bochniak. Carl Bochniak is a bad motherfucker. He'll come at
yeah,
you, regardless.
I mean, it depends what your definition of baddest motherfucker is. Like if you have to add in skills as well, then Bochniak's not in there. But the yeah, it is hilarious whenever like they ask Usman or Colby about it because it is funny because they'll just bring up the fact that Diaz and Masvidal are like 500 fighters because they do have a ton of losses. You know?
I do, and it's like, yeah, Diaz is tough, but I don't really consider Masvidal to be especially. It's like Masvidal's got a career full of fight of the nights.
Yeah, I like Masvidal a lot too. Like
He's a good guy.
he's a
Good
good
guy. He's
fighter.
a great fighter.
I do think
Yeah.
he's a little overrated at this point in time, though. Like I played him over Till because that line was just ridiculous. But I think he's just coming off two like kind of finishes, and he still lost plenty of fights in a row. Before that. But yeah,
I mean, it's not like he was ever really dominated, but yeah, he's just like
true.
he's a decent fighter, but yeah, it's more like it's just the fans who embrace his like recent finishes and kind of elevated to something he's not.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's good the UFC's capitalized on him. Like people were saying that Ty did the UFC lose the Demetrius Johnson trade. It's like Masvidal Askren got eyeballs in and made Masvidal like a semi-legit star.
Yeah, and
Compared to Demetrius Johnson, who nobody cared.
even if you take out like the Masvidal becoming a star from it, Askren also has just had three. It's hilarious. Like he's per capita been the most exciting fights this year. Like his three fights have all been like super fun. Like I know like some of them ended right away, but they're always the most talked about, and they're always really fun. So like, I don't know. Like I've enjoyed the Askren coming over a lot.
And like, yeah, and also if Demetrius Johnson was still in the UFC, he probably gets a rematch with Cejudo. It's a 50-50 rematch. The Dillashaw thing doesn't happen.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like it will just kind of grind out awkwardly. Like, because I remember DJ did his knee or something in the Cejudo fight, so we probably would have seen the Cejudo Demetrius Johnson rematch maybe a month or two ago.
Yeah.
Honestly, that fight, yeah, I think DJ takes about 55%, 60% of the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like even Cejudo's kind of trying to turning himself into a bit of a draw.
Yeah, he's made those divisions fun. Askren's been like a fun ride too, and yeah, it's gonna make some odd. Like I feel like Askren's gonna be. He's getting a little disrespected right now. I feel like at first I thought he was super overrated coming into the UFC, and now I think he's kind of getting way too much shit. But yeah,
that's always going to be nature of the beast.
yeah, for sure. That's how this
The
is.
fan base is very reactive, and we only get to see one permutation of all these fights.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the funny thing is like besides the Maia fight, like I feel like Maia Askren kind of played out how it would, and it's just Maia kind of survived with the cardio and just did a good job of switching to the butterfly sweep, which the broadcast should have brought up, I feel, because that won on the fight. That was fucking really smart. But then the other two fights I thought were just like wide variance outcomes, against Lawler and Masvidal type of thing, where those fights can go just very differently.
Yeah, pretty much. Even Maia, I feel like that fight could have easily gone in all sorts of ways.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying too. Like,
Sorry.
like I think it could have went different. I do think like if they fight Maia and Askren 100 times, you're always going to see like kind of like sloppy striking and like momentum shifts on the floor. But so I think that one like went a little more to the median result, that it would just kind of go like that, and it just depends if Maia like survives and gets the finish, right? But where I feel like Masvidal Askren, I don't think a flying knee happens like that all that often.
Heresy.
Yeah. But okay, I think that's everything.
Yep.
We'll talk about the Russia card coming up, and yeah, good luck on all your plays.
Yep, same to you. Hopefully more consistent podcasting schedule coming up, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I think we try to get them out every week and some one occasionally, but like we'll get a schedule going as more people listen and stuff too. So
yep, good times. And we safely kept the Askren opinions to the very end of the podcast.
yeah. When we didn't go too hot take on there either, like some people online. But cool. All right, I'll talk to you.
Shout out to Wombat MMA and Terax, the only people who actually listen to this part of the podcast.
Oh yeah, Wombat MMA. Yeah, he's always nice on Twitter. Like everyone's pretty cool. Like I hope you'll get some trolls here and there, but it is what it is.
Good times. Anyway, thanks for having me.
All right, see ya.
Next week, hopefully. Bye.